Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so the war between Candace Owens, Steven Crowder, the Daily Wire, it continues. It rages on, and today we have some really juicy clips. So apparently, Steven Crowder is going through a fucking divorce. His wife's divorcing him. Let's listen to what Steven Crowder has to say about him being divorced and also about Candace Owens. Bit of a trigger warning. Steven's fucking crazy and says wild shit here. When does he not? But
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my neck for going on years now. Since 2021, I've been living through.
And just for anyone that's wondering, I'm watching this clip on Twitter, but this is from a video that he uploaded to Rumble. I don't know what's going on with him and his YouTube channel. I don't really care.
What has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and families have not changed. I've always believed that children need a mom and a dad, that divorce is horrible. And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible.
But I don't feel sympathy for this guy. He's the type of person that has in the past made fun of people that get divorced. He makes fun of women that divorce their husbands. I have no sympathy for this motherfucker. I don't care if this makes him sad. Like, I just don't. I have no sympathy for someone like Steven Crowder who routinely gets on his show and just says some of the most outlandishly sexist shit, okay? And then he sits there and says, she can divorce me, and that's completely permissible in the state of Texas. What a tragedy. My wife can divorce me. She can just divorce me whenever she wants. Oh God.
But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter.
In today's legal system, so he's really not even hiding the fact that he is very clearly upset that his wife can legally divorce him. Baby Steven Crowder.
In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period. So
he's really upset about this. Like, I'm sitting here making jokes about it, and he's legitimately upset about it. Yeah, Steven, that's how it works. Yeah, she can divorce your ass if she wants to leave your ass. That's how is that crazy? I feel like that's a normal thing. If one person wants a divorce or separation, they can do that.
For well over a year, in the best interest as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. And all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless.
Yes, because that was the question on everybody's mind. I know that when I found out earlier today at work that Steven Crowder was being divorced, and I'm sure every single other person on social media that heard about this, their first thought was, I wonder if Steven Crowder's children are responsible for his divorce. That's the first thing that went to my mind. I bet you it was kids. His very young kids. It's probably their faults. It's like every single divorce, it's because of the kids. Those fucking damn kids. The kids are horrible. They just cause all the divorces. I'm glad he cleared that up, though.
Completely without
Now
fault.
I don't have to blame his kids.
And so we decided to resolve these issues privately.
This is fucking crazy.
As it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so.
It's in your kids' best interest for you to go on your show and say that it's not their fault when nobody, even being as far away as possible from being in their right mind, fucking thought that. No one thought that.
Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long, many other people knew about this behind the scenes. Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power, influence, leverage, knew of this. They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well.
Here it is. He's getting ready to say that Candace Owens of the Daily Wire is literally extorting him. This is Steven Crowder asking for possibly a lawsuit here, guys. And I think Candace, I think they're both terrible, but some wild shit.
Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
Steven has a lot going on.
He's playing clips. He's got receipts. Oh, God.
I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture. You know, Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Now, okay, she was speaking in the context or in response or speaking to Steven Crowder. So, you know, obviously she's a conservative, and the conservatives like to stick together, but that was one of the nicest, most well-worded. That was just the nicest thing I've ever heard Candace Owens say. Because every single thing I see from her is just nasty shit. She's just mean. She's a mean fucking person. That was the nicest thing that I've ever heard Candace say. And you want to know something, really? As much as I hate these two people, there was nothing wrong. Well, there was nothing legally wrong with what she said. All she literally said was, we should pray for him. That's literally all she said. I'm not defending Candace Owens. But
Oh, my children have a right to privacy.
She didn't even mention it.
Now, some other issues have been, or I should say, inferences have been more pernicious behind the scenes with demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time.
I mean, but it's embarrassing because of the rhetoric that you constantly spew yourself, okay? Like an everyday normal guy works at the grocery store, getting a divorce. Yeah, and there's it's just it's something that didn't work out. No physical abuse, no psychological abuse, nothing like that. Nothing terrible going on. It's just something that fell apart. Yeah, that's sad. But it's Steven Crowder. I feel no sympathy for this guy because when does this guy ever try to empathize with anybody that's different than him? Anybody that's going through something similar to him? Never. It's Steven fucking Crowder. I'm supposed to feel sorry for you now? Are you serious? And you're actually really just burning all your bridges, dumbass, because again, all Candace said was we should pray for him, and you have a problem with that? What a nasty fucking piece of shit. He's just a horrible human being.
But it could be you.
Even when Candace Owens is literally just saying, pray for him. We should pray for him. He's sitting there saying that, look at his face. I mean, look at his face.
Knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So
that's not what happened at all. That's so bullshit.
To those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details, so this is going to likely be the only time I have to address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes, which will be made alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues. And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion.
And these are the same people that go on Twitter and call people out and send their fans out to harass them. And Steven Crowder's sitting here talking about how, it's his privacy is important. The safety of him and his kids is important. Dude, I don't want to hear any of this shit. You're absolutely ridiculous. Everyone's clowning on you because you deserve it. Just straight up. There's nothing else to say about it. He can sit there and say, "Woe is me! My wife divorced, and Candace saying that she prayed for me is putting my kids in jeopardy." No, the fuck it's not. Shut the fuck up. This is the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen from Steven Crowder. And that's saying a lot because this dude likes to dress up like a girl a lot. And he also made a video where he recreated George Floyd's death. He had to take that one down real fast from YouTube. Wonder
Can't thank
why.
you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it. It's pretty simple. I loved a woman so much that I married her.
I can't sit here and listen to this, guys. This is Is he gonna cry? Is he gonna fucking cry?
A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children. And she wanted something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now,
Why is he...
of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my children.
No, guys, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know anybody that, again, did somebody ask him, like, "Hey, man, is it your kids, man? Did your little children that are not even teenagers, I don't think yet, did they ruin your marriage? They fuck your marriage up? They make your wife divorce you?" No one thinks that shit, bro.
And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation, certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns.
I'm cutting it off there. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go play Candace's clip. I can't listen to this stupid motherfucker talk about other people, his own safety and the safety of people around him, and ask for this to be kept like private. I can't listen to it. This dude, again, has routinely, historically, so much evidence of this guy going after people that for no reason other than to harass them. I do not want to hear Steven Crowder sit there and fucking pity himself because he kind of admitted it in a certain context there, but Steven Crowder, you led yourself down this road, fuck yourself. Here's Candace Owens now responding to that. Here it is.
That's it. That's the big scary story. I then went onto my platform and I said, pray for Steven Crowder, honestly, because that's what he needs. He needs a prayer. And apparently nobody's answering those prayers right now because he's still acting erratic. He's now upping the ante and suggesting that I extorted him. I will not take that lightly, okay?
I just have to say this before we continue watching. I had people commenting on the videos I made of the Anna Kasparian, the tweet, Jank putting out a tweet responding, and then Emma, and then they got into this Twitter scuffle, and it was this whole thing. And I had people commenting and saying, this is a classic case of the left eating its own. He was like, you need to focus on the real issues. But it's like, even when progressives are having a dispute or an argument, it's still largely in part, at least that was, it's still at the core of the dispute is an actual issue. Okay? There was a real issue there. Inclusive language, that was the issue. When it's these conservatives fighting, it's ridiculous. It's little personal petty gripes. It's stupid shit. I've said this before, but conservatives do not know what it means to be a part of a movement. And a lot of people say, the conservative movement has people like Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro that are the thought leaders within the movement. This is the conservative movement for you. It's not a movement. It's just a bunch of stupid, ridiculously dumb people who want to make a lot of money fast, and there's a marketplace for them to say this crazy bigoted shit that they like to say. And that's how they make their money. That is what it is. It's not a movement. It's just all a grift. Everything conservative is just a big fucking grift. I'm sorry, but it is. We've never gotten anywhere in the world by staying the same. It's literally called progression. I don't know.
I am not Hillary Crowder.
I just needed to say that.
I am not anybody in his family. I am not going to take somebody going onto his platform and alleging that I either harassed, threatened, or did anything that would put his children at risk.
I never thought I'd be in this type of position. And again, I'm not defending Candace Owens, but I do agree with what she's saying. at no point. And Steven even played the clips himself. He could have not played them. And I myself, I mean, I don't think anything he says. I don't believe anything he says. But random people, you know, if they didn't see the clip, they would be like, "Oh wow, Candace Owens is trying to extort Steven Crowder. Oh, that's fucked up." But he played the clips. There was nothing of the sort.
It's very serious stuff that he is saying. And so what I did this morning after this clip was sent to me is I contacted a defamation lawyer, and I am sending Steven Crowder a cease and desist, and I'm going to demand.
But the other thing about this is, do you guys know how often conservatives say they're going to sue? This is like the Republican, like, boogeyman. Like, it's like Michael Knowles saying that he's going to sue the Daily Beast, and Matt Walsh saying that everything on Twitter is liable. Every headline from every liberal media outlet about any conservative, it's slander. It's libel. You better have good lawyers. Matt Walsh puts out so many tweets. He says, "I'm going to sue you." Michael Knowles does the same shit. "I'm coming after you. I hope you have good lawyers because you're going to be getting a letter from mine soon." They say that they are going to sue. They say, "I contacted a lawyer," this and that, and then nothing ever comes of it. I don't really know if she contacted a defamation lawyer or not. I definitely have my doubts about that. She very well could have, but again, conservatives just love to say, "I'm going to sue," and then they never do it.
A full-throated retraction to the idea that Candace Owens threatened him or extorted him. And not that
Candace Owens does scare me, though. She's scary.
I simply did a little math. 1 + 1 = 2. A crazy man doing these sorts of things to his friends obviously means that something is going on personally. Honestly, this time, I'm not even going to suggest that anybody should pray for him. I am so deeply troubled by the idea that he is trying to insert me into this narrative pertaining to his divorce.
I mean, it really does kind of seem like that, though. I mean, he's going through a divorce. The contract with the Daily Wire didn't work out. And so he's trying to pull this random shit out of nowhere, trying to drum up this big controversy so everyone runs over to Steven Crowder and supports him. And it's not working. This is going to backfire massively for him if it hasn't already. But I already saw people on Twitter making fun of him for what he said about his kids.
I'm frankly angry about this. So I'm going to hope that he does the right thing, okay? That he does another one of his live feeds on the exact same platform and via the exact same medium and offers me an apology and takes back every single word that he says.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. Candace Owens and Steven Crowder continuing their little scuffle here, but it seems like it's actually getting serious. Maybe it's not. Maybe there will be legal consequences. Who knows? Let me know what you think. That's going to be it for the video. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that little bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.